welcome to my channel. I'm taking you on a drive with me today, and we're going to discuss something very exciting. I've had something weighing very heavily on my bladder. I don't know if anybody's been a little sus, but yes, I am pregnant. I am pregnant with baby number 5. I wasn't trying to make a big deal about it. If you weren't like super close to me, we didn't talk every single day, like on a regular basis, you wouldn't have known. But because I do have some large mouths in my family who can't keep their mouths shut, word got out before I had the baby. Because if it were up to me, I just figured that one day I would have a baby and I would just show up with the baby and it would just be really freaking funny. But I have some party poopers that rained on that parade. Anywho, today we're going to go hear the baby's heartbeat and ask a few important questions on what is going on today and try to navigate through the whole COVID thing. Come in.
Nobody's over there.
Huh?
I don't think they're there anymore.
Oh.
They don't answer.
Oh.
Last patient was 3:30.
Oh. Okay. Can we send Yvonne a message then?
Yeah.
Okay. We're hiding. I actually think he's lower. He's a lot lower. Totally hiding. Moving away from me. There we go. Moving all the time. He's ready to come out and wrestle with his brothers. Not quite. Gotta grow him a little bit more. Yeah, just a little. Yeah. Good. It's 1:30. So I went to the doctor. I have a friend who was in Jersey who tested positive for COVID. She was asymptomatic, so she didn't show any symptoms, and her quality of treatment was in the garbage. And ultimately it wound up being that she had the baby, she was separated from the baby, she didn't really know what was going on, the cops were called, and it turned into this big whole nightmare. Being that I'm in Pennsylvania, I wasn't sure what was going to happen or what's going on here. I know that Jersey has its own COVID things going on with King Murphy over there, ruling the roost. I wanted to make sure that, for one, I could have visitors that are unvaccinated. So if I go in there and I have the baby and I have visitors that I want to come with me and accompany me that aren't vaccinated, that wouldn't be a problem, which it turns out it's not. And my other question was, what is the protocol if I am asymptomatic and I test positive for COVID? How are they going to handle that situation? And like a smart person would have automatically thought is the baby would be better off with you anyway, because the baby would get the antibodies from your breast milk. So unless there was a medical intervention that needed to take place, they would not take the baby away from you. Which is all I needed to hear. You know what I mean? That's all I needed to hear. Right? Because, I mean, if you take the baby away from me after I have the baby over some nonsense, I'm going to end up in the psych ward because I'm going to lose my mind. I didn't tell anybody that I was having this baby because, I mean, in the beginning of the pregnancy, during some holidays, we were around family, and you could tell some people were a little sus. They were like, I don't know, she looks a little fluffier than normal. But they weren't like, they didn't know for sure, so they didn't say anything. So I just was like casual about everything. And then I thought, you know what, like, why don't I just, like, by this time I'm like 6 months pregnant, and I'm like, why don't I just keep it, like, I'll keep it under wraps. I don't gotta tell nobody. One day I'm just gonna show up with a baby, be like, boom, we have a new addition. And like, being that I moved to Pennsylvania and a lot of our families in Jersey and other places, it wasn't a big deal. I could do this. I could pull this off. But I didn't voice this to the people around me that did know, and they just let the fucking cat out of the bag because they don't know how to shut the fuck up. Oh, you're leaning, you're falling apart for me. I hope you're ready for this. Ah! Thank you for joining me on my drive today.